We're in a cafe this time, and this time we're waiting to meet up with a possible woman for a threesome. I've had some questions about coming into a meeting the first time with threesomes, and so we're going to answer some of these questions, and we're going to talk about what if it's a woman that you're meeting with, and how is that different than if it's a man. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to be here. It's really exciting to be going on these journeys with you. And I love it when people send me emails and ask me lots of questions, because I need to know what you would like to know more about, what you'd like to get deeper into. So if you have lots of questions, you can either comment below or send me an email, and maybe I'll make a video about it. That would be awesome. So we're in the cafe and we're waiting for this date that we have set up. Now, it's a little bit different when you're dating a woman than it is a man, because women are slightly different. They're more emotional generally. And if you are the woman in your partnership that is, you're the woman in your partnership, then you might feel a little bit more threatened, a little bit more insecure. That jealousy thing might come up. Don't worry, it's very normal, it's very natural. And when you're in an exploratory phase and you're opening your relationship and you're moving out of non-monogamy, jealousy can peek its head out, sometimes slightly, sometimes in a big way. So don't worry about that. You're going to have to go through it. You're going to have to go through some of that uncomfortability, whether you're the man or the woman or whoever you are. You don't know how you're going to react to that person that comes in, because everyone that shows up is going to be different. You're going to feel different about them. It's going to be a different connection. So this is just a non-committal meeting, right? The first meeting is non-committal. There's not going to be any sexual activity involved. It's just talk. So there's nothing to be threatened about. You just want to go in to enjoy it, to talk about sex, to learn about somebody else. Prior to this cafe, little cafe meeting that we're having, we've texted back and forth to get to know this person, and we've sent some pictures as well, so that we can see more than just the one picture of them, to see, okay, is it somebody that we might be attracted to? And it's all been yes, 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 yes. Okay, so the next step is let's meet up. A bar, a cafe. So this time we're at the cafe waiting for her to arrive. And yes, we're nervous. Of course we're nervous. I mean, any meeting that I ever had, I was always a little bit nervous. In the beginning, very nervous. Later, less nervous, but still nervous. It's a new person coming in. Every person is so different. Every experience that I've ever had has been completely different. So you never know what to expect, and it's that unexpected aspect of it that is exciting and scary at the same time. So we're waiting for the cafe, and of course we dress to impress. Okay, you're going on a date here. You're going on a date, so look your best. I've been on a few of these events with waiting for the other person to show up. We took the time to look good, wearing clean clothes, taking time to look good, because we're going on a date. And the other person shows up in sweatpants and t-shirt and frumpy, and just has spent not a second doing anything to put their best foot forward. And the no has happened immediately. Literally immediately. It's like they can't even take a second to look decent. Like, then it's not the kind of person for us. That's us. You might be different, but we want someone who's going to show an interest and has an interest in themselves as well, takes care of themselves. So that's important to us. So let's get into this conversation. So she arrives, and she's gorgeous, and we're excited, and she sits down, and I'm a little, okay, here we go. The first time I ever did this, I was a little bit, it was more scary than ever. But it was so exciting because we had met a lot of guys and now there was a woman showing up, and it was a very different energy, and my partner was in a different kind of mode because he's now thinking he has to impress in a little bit different way. Be relaxed. Be relaxed. You don't know what's going to happen. Let's have a conversation. We don't know where it's going to go. It doesn't matter where it goes. The important part is that we're meeting up to talk about sex with a stranger. That sounds like fun. Why not? So here we are. Some of the questions we would start to ask. Now, I'm going to get into some questions that I think are really important to ask and that might be helpful for you, and that I always asked and that I got better and better at as the meetings went on. But don't spend a lot of time on chitty-chatty stuff. You guys know why you're there. You know why you've all come together, and you don't need to know the deep, intimate details about their day, their everything. You don't need to get into a lot of detail. Just have some, general chit-chat, get a drink, get comfortable, and then, okay, let's talk about why we are here. And just to sort of a segue in, I might ask, so what kind of relationships have you been in? Have you been married? How many, what kind of relationships have you had? Just to find out some of their experience. I found that was always helpful for me to sort of, see their experience level, and, always responding to questions that are coming in return. So that would be the first question I would ask. And then I would start saying, okay, so that's your relationship experience. What's your sexual experience? Like, what have you done sexually that's been outside of just you and a partner? And what's your sexual preference as well? Maybe they're bisexual. Maybe they've been in group situations, sexual group situations. Maybe they've had no experience. Whatever it is, go into some questions here as well. Get curious. So if they've had no experience before, oh, okay, well, interesting. So then you can get right into, okay, so what kind of things would you like to do? What kind of things interest you? What kind of things intrigue you? If they've had lots of experience, or they've had some, find out more about it. So how did you feel about that event? Tell us about your the best event you ever had, the best experience you've ever had. And then tell us about the worst experience you've ever had. Get to know, asking these questions is to getting to know about their experience, but also getting to know about them, because as you talk about your experiences and what happened, and details about you come out, about who you are, how you dealt with situations, how you felt. And don't be afraid, don't hold back from asking questions. You can say, listen, if I'm too forward, because if it's somebody who's really new in this kind of world, they may feel more intimidated. Just remember, like, there's you and your partner. You are the strength, the power, and the third coming in is on their own, right? So they may feel a little bit more intimidated. I've asked that question before too, like, how are you feeling, being here on your own? And usually the answer comes back as I've been, I was scared to come in. I mean, I don't know who you guys are or what to expect, but they would always feel very comfortable after that, because the more vulnerable that you become, the more open you become. If they ask you questions, go in and be vulnerable and answer as honestly as you can, in as much detail as you can. You will learn about yourself. As you open up yourself, your information, then they will open up their information as well. So, get into, whether they've had experience or not. So just be curious. It's so important. Be curious. Whenever question kind of bubbles up inside of you as you're talking, ask it. It's okay. Put it all on the table. This is the place to do it. You are all here for the same reason. So you've got your best experience, and then if you really like each other and you're all getting along really well and you're having a good conversation, and I would say that I always had a good conversation with whoever showed up. I mean, we would get into a conversation, get to know them, get to find out about them, even if I felt like, okay, no, this is not somebody I want to go further with. I would still like have a great conversation to learn about things that people are doing, to learn about things around sexuality, to learn about different things people have enjoyed doing or not enjoyed doing, the kinds of, all sorts of things like that. So just really enjoy your conversation, even if you're feeling, again, like, no, person's not for me. Just say, well, we're on a date, me and my partner in here. Me and my partner are here on a date, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to learn about this. If you really like the person and your partner, you're not really quite sure, but you think, wow, it sounds like they really like this person too, and you're all getting along really well, don't make any commitment yet, I would suggest. Don't make a commitment at this date. You've already told each other in the beginning that this is non-committal. It's just like get to know each other kind of event. So keep it like that, and just end with, okay, we'll be in touch. That was so great to meet you. Yeah, wait until that person is gone and you and your partner are on your own, so that you can have a conversation about, okay, what did you think? How did you feel? Shall we move forward? And, this conversation can be had quite quickly after the event, right? Quite quickly. And if it's right away, it's like, yes, oh, yes, I like this person. I like this person too. You can, text them back right away. This was an awesome meeting, and we'd love to get together with you. Let's start planning our first meeting together. If you and your partner, after the meeting that we've had at the cafe, one of you says, no. One of you is like, well, I really like them, and I think it might be fun, but one is no, then it's no. You can meet hundreds of people. You can meet lots of people. Or maybe the two of you decide, well, if you're interested, then maybe you want to go see this person on your own. That depends if you're at that stage or not. And then you can move forward that way. If one of you is no, and it is a kind of situation where you're only playing together in the threesome, then just text them back, say, it was really great to meet you. It's always great to meet people, but it's not really a fit for us. And that's all you have to say. If they come back and say, well, why not? And usually they don't, but if they do, just say, we just didn't feel that the energy was working for us, and nothing to do with you. It's just the dynamic between us, and this is what we feel. There's no need to go into any detail about, detailed feelings at this point. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. That's okay. It's okay. Next, let's meet somebody else. We've learned all of these amazing things from this person. On top of that, with you and your partner, you learn so much about each other. You learn about yourself. I learned so much about myself on these kinds of meetings because, first of all, questions would come at me that I wasn't expecting. So I'd have to dig a little bit and say, oh yeah, okay, let me think about this one for a second. Or things that they would talk about that they had done that I'd never heard about. It was always, it was very intriguing, very interesting, very opening for me. And it would be like, oh wow, that's something we could explore. We've never been there before, and they've done this and this and that. This sounds really cool. So it's a place to learn and expand and grow, whether you take this particular meeting to the next level or not, right? So we had one really juicy meeting one time with this woman. Yeah, spicy, beautiful woman. And I'm going to talk about that get together on my Patreon tribe. So if you want to hear about that story, come and join Patreon. And at some point in my storytelling, I will get into detail about our first meeting with a woman and how that went. But meanwhile, we've had some great meetings at the cafe. We had a wonderful time with this person here, and we decide that we are going to meet them again, and we text them and say, yeah, we would really like to meet you, and let's start to think about when. And have some patience here. If you make that decision, have some patience. We've got 3 people now, right? 3 people with all sorts of stuff going on, things we do in our lives, feelings that we have. You've got 2 women, so potentially 2 times of the month, period flows, and you have to coordinate that, and who knows how each of you is feeling about that situation. And 3 people coordinating can be tricky, but if you have the patience and then you have some time, it can happen. It can happen, right? It could happen in a day or two. It could take weeks. Sometimes it's taken us months to get together. But if we really like the person and we think this is going to work, we stick to it, we go forward, we just keep trying to find something, sometime that is going to work. Okay? I hope that has helped you in your exploration and discoveries. And again, please comment below about your experiences that you've had. Or if you have questions, again, please comment with your questions or send me an email, and it gives me lots of good, juicy material to work with for upcoming videos. All right, so nice to be here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Much love making.